Hey, how's it going, YouTube? People from VS Planet, how you doing? I am John Miker, forum member Banzo, and I just wanted to do a quick little instructional video tutorial thing on getting computer files from the VS-2480 onto your computer using Bill Casey's virtual SCSI emulation hardware and software. He sells a card that it emulates a SCSI drive. It will plug directly into the back of the VS-2480, and you can copy the project files over to your computer and then use the Wave export software to go ahead and extract those WAV files, and then you can import them into the digital audio workstation of your choice. I use Sonar X3, but I have several others. Basically, you'll be able to get the files in WAV format and then go ahead and load them into your DAW for mixing or whatever you'd like to do with them. Okay, the first step, these are very, very easy steps. I hope you can read my screen. I'm just videotaping my computer monitor because I'm going to be popping back and forth between the VS-2480 and then also the computer interface. But I went ahead and assumed that you have the card installed. The SCSI cable is connected to the back of the 2480. And you also have the drivers. It's 32 and 64-bit. That you have the driver installed for the software. The software has been installed on your machine and ready to go. Okay, the first thing that you're going to want to decide is where you're going to want the virtual hard drive file to live, and then also where you're going to be exporting your WAV files to. It's just two folder locations. You can set them up anywhere on your screen. I mean, inside of your computer. You can set them up anywhere you'd like. I went ahead and have installed mine on my D drive. I created a folder called VirDis hard drive. And this is where I'm going to be keeping the .hdd files that were going to be created. Those are the files. The virtual emulated hard drive is going to live in this area, and it's basically just a container file for your projects. You'll see once we get into it. You don't need to really understand that. It's just a technical thing. Then also, we need a location that we're going to be finally exporting our WAV files to. Once we get the project onto the computer, we're going to export the WAV files from that, and we need a folder for that. So inside of the VirDis hard drive folder, I also created a folder called WAV Export, and this will be where the WAV files will eventually live. All right, so once those are created, we can go ahead and start the SCSI emulation software. That is located in your computer C:\ASC VirDis, and then it's the version number. You go into the VirDis folder, and there is the program called VirDis. You can go ahead and drag this over and put it on your desktop if you want to create a shortcut here. I've already done that right here, so I can just start the program anytime I need. But you go ahead and double click on it to start it, and you will get the first thing that you'll get is a listing of the recorders that you have. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 recorder brands, and then several types. The Roland one is about the 5th one in. Second one down, the VS-2480. You just go ahead and click that, and then you hit continue. Now this will open up another screen here. Select the virtual device type. Now we're going to be creating a brand new one from scratch, so I want to go ahead. I don't want to load the last one. I want to just go ahead and create a VHD hard disk, so we'll select that. Now that opens up a screen, the hard disk emulation section. The first thing it's asking for is the SCSI ID. Now I will go ahead, I just use SCSI ID 1 for this. I think the Roland external recorder may be hard drive 7, and then if you have any other SCSI things hooked up, it may be assigned to whichever SCSI number you've set it to. But I don't have anything else plugged in, just the cable running to the card to my computer. So for me, SCSI ID 1 is perfectly fine. It works fine. Then we want to go ahead and create the virtual hard drive emulation file. So you go ahead and click on that, and I got an error because right there because I just had deleted all of my files before this, all my hard drive emulations. I just wanted to show you from a clean folder what this will look like. So anyway, we'll just click it again. And it's asking for the location that you want to save it. This is where you want to put your virtual hard drive, what place on your computer you want to store the virtual hard drive. This is the folder that we created earlier. It was on VirDis hard drive, and then you can also see that my wave export folder is here as well. So we're going to go ahead and name this Roland 1. That's fine. We'll go ahead and select that. Then it's asking for the disk size in megabytes. Now the VS-2480 has several sizes that it will create partitions in. I think it's, right off the top of my head, I think it's 500 meg, 1 gig, 5 gig, and 10 gig, something like that. I think 10 gig is the highest that it will go. So if you specify, say 700 meg, you can create a 500 meg partition, and it will also create a 200 meg partition. And you'll see that as we go through. It'd be the same way if you created a 40 gig partition, a 40 gig size here, then inside of the VirDis, I'm sorry, in the 2480, when we go ahead and select that drive to be formatted, it would create 4 partitions of 10 gig. And once again, once we get into that, that'll be perfectly clear. But to make things simple, I'm just going to go ahead and create a 700 meg emulation, a hard drive emulation. So you just type in 700, and then you select the load emulation. Now it says confirm loading of this Roland1.hdd for SCSI ID 1 for hard drive emulation. You click yes. Okay, for every new HD emulation file, the user must perform a format or a drive initial on the SCSI drive just created. Basically, this is saying before you use it, you have to go into the Roland recorder and format that drive. Just like if you were installing a physical drive inside of the machine itself. You need to go ahead and just format the drive so the Roland recorder knows how to read it. Very easy to do. So we'll go ahead and click OK. And then it says that it is not yet loaded by the recorder. Now what we want to go ahead and do, okay, this is all running. So we have it set up and it's running. There is a 700 meg hard drive that is waiting on the computer for the Roland to talk to. So now I'm going to go ahead and flip over to the Roland, and we'll go ahead and format that drive and get it ready for storage. All right, on the Roland recorder here, I have a project that I created earlier, and I went ahead and saved it. It's just some drums that are being played. I just recorded a quick little thing of drum tracks. I can hit play and you'll be able to hear it. Okay, So the first thing that we're going to want to do is format that hard drive so the Roland can use it. For that, you will go up under Project, Project List, and it's going to see that it is now working, and it did find the drive that we have set on SCSI ID 1, but it doesn't know the size of it. So this is the one that we want to format. So we'll go ahead and click on this one. Then we want to pop over to page 4. Right here, 1 of 4, we want to go over to 4 and select the F2 format drive. Go ahead and click on that, and then it's going to ask you for the partition size. Now this is what I was talking about earlier. If you set the emulation up to be, say, 40 gig, and you select a 10 gig partition size, it's going to create 4 10 gig partition sizes within the virtual emulation drive that is on the computer itself. We made a 700 meg one, so we're going to go ahead and create a partition size of 500 meg. Now what this will do is create one partition that is 500 meg, and then it will create another partition that is 200 meg. Quick format we want to leave as off, and surface scan is off, and we'll go ahead and select OK. Format the drive? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Store the current? I have already stored this, so I'm not going to. Before we started working with this, after I recorded those drum tracks, I went ahead and stored the file. So you can go ahead and skip this step here, or you can select yes. It's completely up to you. So now we'll go ahead and let this run and do its formatting of the drive, the virtual drive that is located on the PC. And just want to go ahead and mention this while this is working. Once the drive has been set up and formatted, you won't need to go through these steps again, other than turning on the virtual emulation software on your PC and loading the hard drive emulation. You won't need to create a new one. You already have one set up that you can go ahead and copy songs to. You'll be able to this is a 500 meg partition that we're creating, and say this first song that I have is only 10 megs long. Well, that leaves us 490 meg that are still available for use. So as we create the next song on the 2480, we can just go ahead and write to the hard drive, the virtual hard drive that's already created. So once you get this initially set up as it is right now, you won't have to do anything other than start the emulation, load it up, and you'll be able to write songs to it. Okay, the drive has been formatted. We're ready to copy our file to it. The project, we want to go ahead, just load a project. You can go into reload or project list, select a project. This is all set up, ready to go ahead and transfer over to the computer. So we'll go ahead and select project list, and as you can see, we went ahead, the computer now reads the virtual drive. It's listed SCSI 1.0, and it's 476 meg, and then we've got SCSI 1.1, which is the 136 meg. This was the part that was left over from the initial 500 meg partition that we created when we did the format. So we're going to go ahead and select our project that we want to copy over. It's called VirDis test. That was the drum tracks. We want to click on 2 of 4 copy, because we want to just copy this over to the virtual hard drive on the machine. So you select copy, and it's this project, the VirDis test project, and then we want to select the destination drive. So we'll go ahead and hit the F4 select drive. And we will now be able to pick the removable drive that's on the computer, SCSI1:0. We'll go ahead and select that and then press the select button. Now that's saying we're going to go ahead and copy the VirDis test project, which is 35 meg. We're going to go ahead and copy that over to our virtual hard drive that was SCSI1:0. So we'll go ahead and select OK. It says, are you sure you want to copy it over? We hit yes. Store the current. We don't have to store it. I've already stored it. It's up to you if you'd like to store it here or not. This doesn't take that long to do on a small file if you know, you're working with something that has 24 tracks and, you know, a couple of songs. This may take a, you know, a little bit of time. I don't think it should be any more than, you know, 5 minutes, 5 or 7 minutes though. This seems to have a pretty fast transfer rate. All right, we have just successfully copied over our song onto the virtual disk that's located on the PC. So I'm going to go ahead and flip back over to the PC, and then we'll go through the Wave export utility and extract the files from the virtual hard drive that we just created. All right, we are back in the PC, and we have the VirDis software running. We want to go ahead and eject the virtual medium. We are finished with using it. We're ready to export the files now, so you can just go ahead and close this. You may be able to leave it open to do the export. I'm not sure. I haven't tested it enough, but just coming from a computer background, once I have a file open and I'm ready to do something else on it, use another piece of software or so on it, I usually just go ahead and close it so there's no conflicts. Like I say, you may or may not have to go ahead and close it. I'm not totally sure. But just to be safe, I'm going to go ahead and close it. So you just hit the eject virtual medium button. Confirm the ejection of Roland 1. You hit yes. Now, we have it closed. Okay, we are ready to go ahead and open up the export software so we can dig down into our song and extract our WAV files. From inside of the virtual disk software, you can go under File, and the first thing is the VS Wave Export Utility. So we'll go ahead and start that. Now, we have a window here that we're going to just be dropping the hard drive file that we created onto. The first thing you want to set up is the location that you want to export your files to. Now, we went ahead and set up the location, and you just click right here on this little button. And you'll be able to select anywhere on your computer that you would like to export your WAV files to. As I mentioned earlier, I had set mine up on D:\VIR VirDis hard drive is the location, and then I've created a folder in there called WAV export. So you go ahead and select that. These are the two folders that we set up at the very beginning of the project. We'll go ahead and select that, and that will give us the location that the WAV files will be dumped into. Now, we're all ready to go here, so we're going to go to that location. We'll go to Start, Computer, wrong one, Start, Computer, D:\VirDis hard drive. And this is the actual file, the hard drive file that we had created and formatted. This is the virtual location that we store our songs in. All of the songs that you create on the VS-2480 will be placed into this hard drive. And this contains our two partitions, the 500 meg and the 200 meg partition. They're basically stored in this one virtual file. So we're going to go ahead and just grab that Roland1.hdd and drop it onto the WAV export. Then once that's done, we can go ahead and close it. You'll see that it says, okay, from this location we have partition 0 and partition 1. We stored our song onto partition 0. So we'll go ahead and open that up. We have our project, VirDis test. You can go ahead and click on that. Now, over here on the right-hand side, it shows your tracks. And then also if you have any, I believe this is virtual tracks. We just have tracks 1 through 3, and through 24, 1 through 24 will be on this first column. We go ahead and select track 1, track 2, and track 3. As you can see, they're highlighted in red. Then we'll go ahead and select export. You hit export, and it says that 3 tracks were written to the hard drive location / WAV export. That's where we wanted to dump them down to. So now that they're living on the computer, we can go ahead and grab them and drag them into our DAW. We'll just close out everything, go into Computer, D:, the folder for the hard drives, VirDis hard drive, WAV export, and we have our 3 drum files located right here that we can go ahead and then import into the DAW software that you have for mixing. I hope that this will, help people out. There's been a lot of people on the planet that have helped me out for years using the 2480 and some of the other Roland gear that I have, and I just wanted to give a shout out and say thank you for all the help over the years, and I hope this little video tutorial will also help somebody else out. This combination of the Bill Casey's SCSI card is absolutely fantastic. It's the best and quickest way that I've ever seen to get files from the 2480 onto the computer, and I think it's just an absolute wonderful tool, and it will definitely extend the life of your VS-2480. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up right now. If you have any questions, please go ahead and either you can send me an email if you'd like, or leave a comment. This is going to be on YouTube. My email address is chemicalsavior@hotmail.com. That's CHEMICALSAVIOR@hotmail.com. And I check that several times a day. I would be more than happy to get back with anybody if they have any questions. Okay, thank you. Have fun.